Hello viewers, welcome to the Chessed YouTube channel. In this video, I will show you how to play Sicilian Defense Najdorf Variation. So stay tuned till the end. White begins the game with the move e4 and black plays c5, controlling the d4 square but not from the center. This opening is known as Sicilian defense. The Sicilian defense is divided into four major variations based on black's response. So in the first variation, white starts with e4 and black plays c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, bishop e3, and black plays bishop g7, so it controls the longest diagonal on the board. This is the dragon variation of the Sicilian defense. So in this position, white plays queen d2, black castles short, and white castles kingside. Black can attack on that flank by pushing the queenside pawns. I have created a separate video on dragon variation. You can check that out in the description below. Now have a look at this variation. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and black plays knight c6. This is the classical variation of the Sicilian defense. Classical Sicilian leads to imbalanced games. The idea behind the classical Sicilian is black develops his knight early and used to pressure the center. And after bishop f4, black can swing his queen over to b6 to further pressure the center. In the Secchi-Venanjan variation, white starts with e4, black plays c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and black plays e6. Black puts his pawn here to control the central squares and also sets up a flexible pawn structure. After bishop d3, black can advance his central pawns. Now let's move to the final variation. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and a6 is the Najdorf Sicilian. The idea of the Najdorf is to control b5 square to prevent the bishop from coming here and attack black king. After bishop e3, black wants to advance e5 pawn. This pawn forces white to move the knight and gain more control in the center. e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, a6, bishop e3, e5, knight b3, bishop e6, f3, bishop e7, queen d2, knight b to d7, white castles queenside and black castles kingside. This white setup is known as English attack against the Najdorf Sicilian. So in this position, white's idea is to use kingside pawns to attack the enemy king. And black will advance his queenside pawns to attack the white king. The possible continuation from here is g4, b5, knight e2, knight e8, f4, a5. White attacks the bishop and black does the same. In this position, white's best move is to sacrifice the knight by playing knight b to d4. After e takes d4, knight takes d4, black bishop is still under attack and white is threatening the powerful knight c6 fork. White will regain a piece in highly imbalanced and double-edged position. So in this position, the best move for black is bishop takes a2. Knight c6 attacks the queen and the bishop. Black queen has only one safe square. So queen c7 and knight takes bishop with check. If you enjoyed this video, then like it, share it and don't forget to subscribe the channel.